I'm still trying to process Army of the Dead. Just finished it about 30 minutes ago. Been thinking about it. Been trying to talk to people online about it because this movie is insane. Don't worry, this is a non-spoiler review for Army of the Dead because there's so much to spoil in this movie. It's just bonkers. Zack Snyder has redefined the zombie genre. I really mean that. He has gone absolute crazy. I was thinking in this movie, like, what is the man doing? It's supposed to be a zombie movie, but it's a lot more than that. Now, this movie, when it ends, this could just be one movie. It could be. You could just finish this movie at one, Army of the Dead, done. Oh, what a movie. Pretty good. But you can also have spin offs, sequels. We're already getting a prequel. We're already getting an animated show. So this universe is going to be huge. It's going to have loads of content. Netflix are in on this right now, and even if Zack Snyder doesn't direct another movie for Army of the Dead, I could see this franchise going on for years to come because there's so much to build on. Not just zombies, but the government, civilians, humans, stuff like that. A group like Lost Vengeance that try and come together to get into Vegas. But this movie was just bonkers. And for somebody who's a huge zombie fan, Walking Dead is one of them, World War Z, Zombieland, all those types of zombie movies, I Am Legend, I love them all. But what Army of the Dead does, it actually takes elements from every single one of those. Dawn of the Dead, the original one, George Romero, the god of zombies, Walking Dead, even Shaun of the Dead. And you're probably thinking, Shaun of the Dead? Yeah, I really mean it. World War Z. It takes inspiration from all of these IPs. I'd even say Resident Evil as well. And it blends them into this movie. And Zack Snyder presents it in a way through his eyes. And it's absolutely crazy. Look, we all know the plot. Following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. So, look, it's Ocean's 11 meets zombies. Awesome stuff, pretty cool. We know this from the trailers. They go into Las Vegas to get the money. They're hired by this Japanese businessman or millionaire. And of course, there's a kind of a cool moment where they're thinking about the plan, what they're going to do, how easy it's going to be, and you get to see that in the movie. But of course, it's not that easy when they actually go and do it. So I thought that was pretty funny. Dave Bautista as a leading man, for probably not the first time in his career, but this time he really is the focus of this movie because a lot of the stars in this movie aren't really well known globally. Dave Bautista, huge WWE wrestler, been in Guardians of the Galaxy. People know him. So for him to carry this movie on his back, I think he did a pretty good job. The emotional moments in this movie hit you hard. And a few times I was a bit emotional as well. The opening sequence, even seeing it again, I know we got to see it last week, but to see it in context was a lot better. And it adds to it because it bleeds into the actual movie. But Dave Bautista did an amazing job. Absolutely brilliant stuff. He can act. He's improved big time since he started acting. He was great at the action, of course. He's a big guy. He's good at all that stuff. But the emotional presence needed to work. It needed to be there between his character. And it was absolutely brilliant. And of course, from the trailer, we get to see that somehow his daughter ends up going with the group into Vegas, played by Ella Purnell, Kate Ward. And the emotional kind of substance between those two characters, between Scott Ward and his daughter, Kate Ward, is pretty awesome. And it really hits you hard. Omari Hardwick in this movie is pretty good as well. He has some nice interactions with the Dieter character. Of course, the actor that plays Dieter has directed the prequel movie Army of Thieves, which is already done. It's coming out later this year or early next year. And the interaction between those two characters was just perfect. I can see many people just, simping for those two characters because their interaction was so good. And by the end of the movie, you feel for them even more. So I thought the comedic element between those two characters was pretty good. Tig Notaro, of course, was brought in to replace Chris D'Elia. And I was actually kind of worried that I would notice her being placed into scenes. But Zack Snyder and his visual effects team did an unbelievable job. It's flawless. There's probably one scene, and it's very, very short, where I noticed she's not really with the rest of them there. And that's about it. The rest of it, you don't even notice. And she has a big role in this movie. It's not like I thought, okay, she's the pilot. She's the helicopter pilot. She'll probably be in the start, maybe the end of the movie. But she's in this movie throughout. So for Zack to bring her in and replace Chris D'Elia so well was an amazing job, and you don't really notice it that much. A lot of the actors in this movie aren't really actors. A lot of them are stunt doubles, and they've worked with Zach on movies doing stunts before, and I couldn't tell the difference, to be honest. There was no bad acting in it. There was no dialogue not presented in a good way. Everyone held their own and a pretty good job. Now, Garrett Dillahunt from The Walking Dead universe, from Fear the Walking Dead, was just kind of he was killed off a few weeks ago on Fear the Walking Dead, but he is in this movie, another zombie world, and he plays a character that's completely different from his character in the Walking Dead universe, and he's pretty good in this movie as well. Now, I will say, you can notice who the villain is straight away from the start of the movie. You can notice, probably, if you were to pick somebody to turn in the group, you could probably guess at the start of the movie. But I think that's kind of what the movie was kind of presenting to you as well. You know, this person is not to be trusted that well. So yeah, it's pretty easy to kind of see it coming. But when it does come, you're like, oh, I knew it. I knew he would do it. And you're kind of pissed off at that character. That was pretty cool. But every single one in the group held their own. Now, of course, this Lost Vengeance group that's led by Dave Bautista, you know, they're a core group. But going into Vegas, they get more kind of people coming along with them. Example, Dave Bautista's daughter, Ella Purnell, comes with them. And there's also another few characters as well who end up coming with the team into Vegas. But look, as I said, Zack Snyder has redefined this genre. He has redefined the zombie genre. He has brought things into this world that I would never even think of. I don't think anyone would think of. It's just insane. There's going to be so many theories after this movie. And I can't wait to have a spoiler discussion. I'll probably have a spoiler discussion later in the week, maybe, when everyone got the chance to see it. I'll have one on Real Talk Live with Krypton Cage, the show we do as well. Link in the description if you want to go follow that show tomorrow night. Spoiler discussion. But there's so much to talk about that I don't know where to start. I really don't know where to start. But yeah, every actor held their own. Zack Snyder, of course, doing the dream lens. Now, the dream lens you could probably notice from Justice League, the Joker scene, Batman scene, Deathstroke scene in the Nightmare Timeline. That's used a lot in this movie, and it actually took me a while to get used. Well, not a while, but it took me a bit to get used to that, because it's something that you don't see in every single movie, and if you do see it, it's not used continuously in every single scene. But Zack kind of does that here, and after a while, I really digged it. I really, really liked it. So the action in this movie is pretty badass as well, and you can see that from the opening, 15 minutes from last week that they showed us. Like, when the zombies are fighting humans, it's just so interesting to look at. And in this world, we have alphas, we have shamblers, we have kind of, the traditional zombies, the slow, kind of lethargic zombies from the, George Romero era, or even the Walking Dead era. And they're cool to see as well, but the alphas are just another level. They're like the World War Z zombies, or the I Am Legend zombies. They're very fast, they're agile, they can think. And there's even parts in this movie where they're dodging bullets. They're so hard to beat. And it's just insane to watch. Now, Richard Citrone, who is Ben Affleck's stunt double when he is Batman, plays Zeus, so the main kind of zombie. And he does an awesome job as well. No dialogue whatsoever, but he pulls it off. Richard Citrone, guys, could be an A-list actor for the performance he gives here. It's just badass. It's just awesome. You feel for the zombies in this movie. You feel for his character and the emotions that he was able to present with no dialogue whatsoever. Like, with makeup on, with being zombified, was just absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe it whatsoever that he's a stunt double and he was able to do this. He was just fantastic. So, big thumbs up to Richard Citrone. He's a standout in this movie with not one piece of dialogue. And of course, if you have a Zeus, if you have a king of the zombies, you need a queen. And the Alpha Queen as well, the actress there with no dialogue, does another amazing job. She's not in the movie as much, but when she is in it, she's able to convey stuff and you understand what she's saying through her emotions, which is just brilliant acting. Not every actor, I bet you can do that. So fair play to those two who are kind of stunt doubles coming into this movie and doing an awesome job. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But the zombie makeup is awesome, for the shamblers, for the alphas, pretty badass, pretty crazy. Zack Snyder released an image of the Queen Alpha today. Awesome stuff. Everything about this movie is just top notch. It really, really is. The soundtrack is amazing. Some awesome songs there that I love were put into the movie as well. Even an Irish song near the end, which was pretty cool. I loved it now, which I wish it went on for a little bit longer, and that was awesome. But yeah, soundtrack's amazing. I can't wait to get that on a CD or a playlist and just listen to it, because it was pretty awesome. It really was. And yeah, Alison Krauss, of course, she comes into this movie as well and has a piece to say. Maybe even two songs, not too sure. But she did Hallelujah for Zack Snyder's Justice League as well, the ending for that movie. So yeah, pretty awesome. And the last 45 minutes of this movie is John Wick with zombies. I really mean that. There is guns, there is fights, there's zombies. It's just so high paced. You don't get a breath. You're like, oh no, oh my god, how is that happening? It's just absolutely ridiculous. But it's not like every single action piece is, you're on the edge of your seat. There's a scene in this movie that I was on the edge of my seat, not because the action was so much and so electrifying. I was on the edge of my seat because, oh my god, I'm so scared for these characters right now. Because there's one scene in particular where they use the green glow sticks. You may have seen it in the trailer and stuff. Guys, that scene is absolutely crazy. I loved it. Actually, just recently, one of the Walking Dead episodes did something very similar to that, but not as suspenseful and not as long. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But guys, yeah, Army of the Dead for me is an awesome movie. It really is. It may be one of Zack Snyder's best ever films. I know that's hard to say when Batman v Superman exists and Zack Snyder's Justice League exists. But to be honest, this movie was untouched. Zack Snyder was allowed to do what Zack Snyder wanted in this movie. There was no handcuffs whatsoever, and you can definitely see it. The movie's 2.5 hours long. It doesn't, it does feel like it's 2.5 hours. It feels like a long movie. But I was never bored. I was never, oh, I can't wait for this to end. Because it was so damn good. Because it was so interesting. And we've seen this plot before where a group has to go in somewhere and get some money, but we've never seen it with zombies. We've never seen it when there is a zombie tiger, zombie horses. And let's speak about Valentine as well, the zombie tiger. In a lot of the movie, actually, not just a small part, but in a lot of the movie, more than the trailer, crazy. And there's one scene in particular, I was like, I can't watch this. This is just too gory, even for me. And it was crazy. I would have liked to see more of the zombie horses, but that was still cool. But yeah, there's so much world building in this film that you can do sequels and spin-offs if you wanted to. But if you wanted to end it right here, you could as well. You really could. Cinematography is brilliant as well. Zack Snyder was the director of photography in this movie. He held the camera, he directed, he wrote, he did everything on this movie, which was pretty awesome. And he does an amazing job as always. Also in this movie, there's a lot of references to the DCU, Zack Snyder's world, Justice League. So I won't spoil them, but definitely keep an eye out for those. I definitely picked up about maybe 3 or 4. The fourth one I'm a little bit iffy about. I don't really know, but definitely 3. Maybe you guys seen more, so let me know below if you caught those. I thought they were pretty cool. And yeah, it's cool because this was made before Zack Snyder officially knew that Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to happen. So, pretty cool. And Warner Brothers sold this movie to Netflix because they didn't want it. They sold it. They didn't want to work with Zack Snyder anymore. Said, alright, you're making a zombie one. Right, we'll sell it over here. We don't want it. Big mistake. This is a big hit, I bet you. And it's going to have loads of spin-offs and sequels and animated shows and movies and stuff like that. This is going to be, I think this will be Netflix's first franchise kind of universe, like an MCU. Their own kind of world. I do think that. I think they're trying to build something here because you look at Netflix, you see all these shows and movies. You don't really look at them and see a franchise. You look at maybe Disney Plus, The Mandalorian, the MCU shows. You look at HBO Max and it's trying to do that now with the J.J. Abrams verse and Matt Reeves spin-offs and things like that. You got Amazon, which has The Boys and Invincible. You look at Netflix, they don't really have that kind of thing where you're like, oh, that's a world right there. That's a universe. Stranger Things is big, but it doesn't have spin-offs and things like this. I think Army of the Dead will have spin-offs, Army of the Thieves, the animated show, sequels in this world and stuff like this. I think this will be The Army of the Dead will be the headline for Netflix going forward. I really believe that. I do. But maybe you disagree, but I think it's just awesome to see them really give Zack Snyder the freedom, but believe in Zack Snyder, give him creative freedom, and Zack Snyder can do whatever he wants to an extent, So it's 100% unfiltered, uncut Zack Snyder content, which is what we all want. And I think that this movie is probably Zack Snyder's most complete work because he was allowed to do exactly what he wanted to do. He had no studio mandates. He had no rules to obey because it's going to be hitting theaters and stuff like that. Netflix said, here's the money. You have the idea, you're the man, you have the vision, go make it. We know it will be a hit because we believe in you. And there's a big difference between that and what Warner Brothers do to their content creators, to their writers, to the directors and stuff like that. And that's why I think Netflix are ahead of everybody. not just in streaming, but also ahead of most studios as well, because Army of the Dead came out on Netflix, or came out in theaters a week ago. I think it's the most successful Netflix movie of all time so far, and it's gotten a big enough theatrical run, which is pretty awesome. So they fully believe in this movie. They believe in Zack Snyder, and I could see them maybe putting more movies in theaters and stuff like this, maybe 2 weeks early next time, stuff like that, maybe even more theaters. I think it was only in 600 of them, so if they were to extend that, get that even bigger, Netflix could be catching up with a big studio like Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers, very much in turmoil right now, and they didn't want this movie. Another big mistake from the big executives over there, like a Toby Emmerich. I don't know who exactly said no, we don't want it, but big mistake, definitely. But guys, this film's on Netflix. Definitely check out Army of the Dead. It's just crazy. I love it. I love this movie. I love zombies. And to see my favourite director tackle a genre that I love, again for the first time since 2004, Dawn of the Dead. It's Dawn of the Dead on steroids. It's Dawn of the Dead if John Wick was in Dawn of the Dead. It's just absolutely crazy. And as I said, he takes inspiration from, it seems like, every single interpretation of the zombie genre ever, even Shaun of the Dead, Walking Dead, Resident Evil, all this stuff, but blends it together, and it comes through Zack Snyder's eyes, and it's just brilliant. Absolutely loved it. But guys, have you checked out Army of the Dead yet? Let me know below. I want to hear your thoughts. Even if you have some theories, maybe save it for the spoilers discussion, but some insane theories. Oh my god, I can't wait to talk about it. But guys, Real Talk Live, we have a brand new YouTube channel, just myself and Krypton Cage, and tomorrow night's show with guests, we'll be doing a spoilers discussion of Army of the Dead. The link will be in the description to that, so go over there, subscribe to that channel so you don't miss it, because if you want a place to talk about Army of the Dead spoilers, that's the place tomorrow night. So looking forward to that big time, and probably Monday or Tuesday I do a spoiler discussion on this channel about it as well, because there's so much to talk about. But Dave Bautista does an amazing job. Ella Pornell, his daughter in it, very good as well. I love Damari Hardwick, pretty good character. I thought the actor that played Dieter, Matthias, can't pronounce his second name, he was very funny, he was very good. Tig Notaro, brilliant, liked her as well, and a few of the other actors in it as well were just brilliant. Richard Citrone, as I said, was amazing, and a few of the other actors there, I can't really pronounce their name, I do apologise, but you'll see them in the movie, and they're just fantastic. So guys, like, comment, subscribe, appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Army of the Dead has redefined the zombie genre, and I can't wait to see where it goes next.